Most people aren't exactly clear on who their culture is.
Today we are with Ryerson. Let's go win. Topic today is strategic culture. We have 4 minutes, Jam. Tell us, how do you make a significant difference to have a culture that ends up becoming strategic for your organization?
Brother, it's a big question. Answer it in 4 minutes. We're going to do this. So here's what I will tell you. Most people aren't exactly clear on who their culture is. And I can ask this question to 1,000 companies and say, tell me what your culture is. And one executive will give me a list of things. I'll go to the next. They'll give me a list of things. I'll go to the next. It's totally different. So strategic being the very key word here, are you clear on exactly what that culture is? And if you're not, I promise you you have one. It's just not intentional, and that's not good. So I can literally double the revenue of almost every business I touch by doing what I call the one sheet. Now, a big part of the one sheet is getting the culture down to 3 values. And most people are like, what are you talking about? 3 values? That's crazy. Let me tell you, I literally used to have 6 and I forgot on stage. I got through 4 and then I forgot. So if you are the person coming up, like I was, the executive with these cultural values, how can you expect your team, and we had about 1,500 people on our company at that time, how can I expect 1,500 people to remember 6 values if I can't? And I was one of the people in the room coming up with them. So I coach people to do 3 core values to be extremely clear on what your culture is. Now, the other thing about culture is make sure it's in your DNA. You said that word earlier, Carl, and you're like, it's not in my DNA. So we all know what that means. Like, this is something that comes natural to us. When you find those 3 things for your culture, here's the beautiful thing. Now, everybody that you hire is actually on the same page. They're the people you want to work with, and it makes everything so much easier. So in 4 minutes, I guess what I would say is find your 3 core values. And if you're like, well, we have a mission statement, trust me, do a quick poll and ask the people in your team, on your team, what's the mission statement that we have? What are our core values? And you're going to find out really quickly most people don't know. So we have this thing in our brains. We remember the 3 amigos, 3 musketeers, snap, crackle, pop. You think of these things. There's a reason marketing firms do this. It's because it's easy to remember. Our brains can remember 3. So if the basic question is, how do we get strategic culture? Get extremely clear on your 3 core values.
No, I love that. So, okay, let's say you have it down to 4. You got 4 core values and people are struggling. Matter of fact, I used to ask this as a interview question. We had 5 core values. I said, okay, you have to get rid of 1. Which one is it going to be? And it was an always interesting thought process. Tell us that. You got 1 minute left here, Jam. What do you do to help discern to get it down to the essential 3 that's going to make a difference for your business?
Yeah, I actually just did this in Tennessee the other day with a practice, and they had 4, and they were we are sticking with 4. And I was like, okay, cool. Remember, law of diminishing return. You're going to forget one of those values. So what we did is we actually figured out through the core values, here's our core 3. Here's one that we're going to put into our statement, our vision statement, our mission statement. So you don't have to lose it all together. You just put it somewhere else. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, I can remember the 3 core values. Now I can actually remember the vision statement because it has that last value that was so important to us.
Oh, I love that. I loved how you pulled that together and you brought the vision itself into it with the strategic culture and the 3 core values. JM, thank you for crushing it during this $4 million strategy podcast.
Thank you, brother.